You're born in a private clinic in Monterey. 15 armed men guard every entrance. Your father reserves the entire East Wing. The doctor who delivers you gets paid more for this single night than he'll earn in 8 months. You're 4 days old, and you already have enemies you've never met. You didn't choose any of this, but your brain is already choosing who it needs to become to survive it. Your childhood unfolds inside a hacienda surrounded by men with weapons and radios. Men who straighten their backs when your father crosses any threshold. Men who call you young sir before you can tie your own shoes. Your nervous system absorbs every detail of this environment and makes a permanent decision. Threat is everywhere. Stillness is suspicious, and the only safe thing to do with another human being is study them before you trust them. Psychologists call this hypervigilance. You call it Tuesday. Your father is affectionate when he's present. He kisses your forehead. He laughs loudly at dinner. But there is always a dimension of him that remains completely inaccessible. A door inside him that never opens for you. You love him deeply, and you fear what he represents simultaneously. Your developing mind has no framework for this contradiction, so it does the only thing it can. It accepts that love and danger are the same emotion wearing different clothes. This belief will quietly destroy every relationship you attempt to build for the rest of your life. At 9, you ask your mother what your father actually does. She adjusts her European designer clothes and says agricultural commerce, import and export. You want to believe her because you need to believe her, but you've already seen the closed rooms, the men with suitcases, the conversations that stop the moment your footsteps are heard approaching. Your brain makes a conclusion it will never reverse, that the surface version of reality is always a lie, that reading what lives underneath is the only real form of intelligence. This is how hypervigilance graduates into something deeper, into a permanent inability to take anything at face value, including love, including loyalty, including yourself. At 13, 40 men stand in silence and stare at you with a weight you feel physically. Your father announces your future to the room with complete certainty. Something inside you closes permanently in that moment. Psychologists call it identity enmeshment. The moment your individual self and your family's identity fuse so completely that separating them later becomes psychologically impossible. You stop being a boy with potential directions. You become the son, one direction, no exit, no alternatives. At 19, you sit in a Guadalajara classroom surrounded by students worrying about exams and ordinary heartbreaks. You watch them the way someone watches a language they were never taught. These people extend trust effortlessly. They form friendships without calculating risk first. They laugh without scanning the room afterward. What you're witnessing is not weakness. It's what psychologists call secure attachment, the ability to connect without constantly preparing for betrayal. You've never experienced it. Your earliest relationships taught your nervous system that closeness is where danger hides. So you learned to perform intimacy while maintaining internal distance. You became fluent in the appearance of connection without ever actually achieving it. Late at night alone in your luxury apartment, the question arrives that you've spent your entire life outrunning. Who would you be if your last name meant nothing? You sit with it, and the sitting dismantles everything, because the answer reveals the most devastating psychological truth of your existence. Every defense mechanism you carry, every wall, every calculation, every moment of emotional unavailability, none of it was chosen. It was built into you by an environment that required it before you were old enough to refuse. You are not cold. You are not broken. You are not dangerous by nature. You are precisely what surviving your childhood required you to become. And somewhere beneath all the power and all the fear you inspire in others, there is still a child who simply needed safety and never once got it.